Hello and welcome back to the Mischief Makers podcast. We're celebrating the 9 and a bit years of the play that goes wrong here in New York City. I'm the host, Chris Lanceley, and with me today I have Mark Evans and Alex Mandell. Mark is the replacement, or was the replacement Chris Bean, replacing Henry Shields in the Broadway company, and Alex was the replacement Max, replacing Dave Hearn.
That's the one and only.
The one and only Dave Hearn. And Mark also associate directs the Off-Broadway company.
Sure do.
And Alex swings into the Off-Broadway company
Sure
every now
do.
and then.
Frequently.
So
And my body has lived to tell the tale.
just about.
Just about, barely.
So both of you have been pretty much with the 9 and a bit year journey from the beginning, essentially.
I rushed for during previews. I'd heard about it being brilliant in the West End, and when it came over here, I sat outside before 10 a.m. waiting for a rush ticket to see it. So I've definitely seen it and then been a part of it since it very first arrived here.
And you're seeing it a lot more now.
Yeah, you certainly are.
I saw it back in the West End originally. I was in the West End working on another Kevin McCullum play called Hand to God for a couple weeks. And they were like, it was the same producers, I believe, over there as well, who was working on Hand to God as the play that goes wrong. And they said, we can get you a ticket to our other show. And I knew nothing about it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's check it out. And I just remember the feeling of, I'm sure everyone's saying this, but the feeling of my stomach hurting from laughing so hard and so long.
Most people have negative things to say about the show, actually. It's been a difficult journey so far.
Yeah. Only when you're in it, right?
only.
We had great response, Chris.
Yeah, right.
That's really great to hear from the associate
After
director.
7 years of being on the show.
Yeah, you're so. Do you remember your auditions for the show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
You go first.
Well, I just remember, I mostly remember having a really hard time getting an audition for the show. Yeah, for whatever reason, I could not get seen. Maybe it was my reputation. It's quite possible. That would explain some things now, actually. But I just couldn't, I had gone to Lambda. I did a semester at Lambda, so I sort of knew the Mischief folks peripherally.
Yeah.
We sort of played a game called Nine Square together over lunch, and that was like the extent of our friendship. So like Greg Tannehill and I sort of knew each other a little, and I had just seen them around, but we didn't really know each other. But regardless, I couldn't get an audition, and then my agents pushed and pushed because I pushed them, and to their credit, they got me in, and I remember it being extremely nerve-wracking and extremely exciting.
Yeah.
Is that your experience?
Yeah, I remember it was actually, I was doing a concert at Town Hall, and I happened to be doing a job where I had a mustache at the time. And at the dinner afterwards, Jamie DeRoy, who is one of the investors for the show, she happened to be there, and she was like, you should be in the play that goes wrong. I was like, just because I have a mustache. And I didn't know that they were auditioning at the time. I don't know whether it was coincidence or whether it was because of her, but like a couple of days later I had an appointment. And yeah, I initially went in and did like the opening speech, and it was Dave Hearn and Charlie Russell who were there. And I was just like, you guys are so awesome. If nothing else happens with this, I'm just so glad I got to see you in person and tell you how much I enjoyed the show. And they were so warm, and especially now as the associate director leading the auditions, I sort of remember that experience and try and honor that when I'm leading the room now and just make it so comfortable. But yeah, so we had, I think there was like 1 or 2 initial auditions, and then we had the group auditions, didn't we? That was intimidating. Yeah. Thinking like, oh, I had convinced myself ahead of time that everyone was going to be so much better than me. And it's really interesting sitting in the waiting room, I'm like, oh my God, they're all going to be amazing. And then when you go in and you realize no one has a clue what they're doing, really. And that was really
That's an asset.
Yeah. Well, it's part of what they needed to explore to see how comfortable you were going to be in the discomfort of it all. Yeah. And yeah, we did a lot of improv games, and then we're taught like the loop section, that sort of stuff. And then we had a final callback at the Lyceum Theatre. Were you there that day?
Yeah. Wow,
we
I
were all
forgot. I
we were
blocked that
waiting.
out.
We were waiting downstairs in the basement of the Lyceum, and it really helped auditioning on stage. I feel like every show should do that because it just helps you be in the world, helps them see you in the world too. But I really think that one of the things that got me the job of Crispine is that I accidentally, during the scene, the line mishap, I accidentally tripped over the rug and like responded in such an aggressive way that they all laughed and they're like, "Oh, he's Crispine."
Yeah. Perfect.
It was a
wasn't
genuine
the mustache.
response, to be clear.
Yeah, yeah,
You're just genuinely
I'm
livid.
just him.
You're just him. Yeah, fair enough. Did you feel a lot of pressure going in to replace the people you replaced?
Immense.
Immense pressure.
I think they felt it too. It felt like a real gamble. You know, everything on Broadway is so high stakes. There's so much money involved in it, and the original company coming over, that was such an exciting thing. And then to do a full cast replacement for a Broadway play with no names in it, it was a real risk. But then it seemed to just really work.
Yeah, it was sort of, I remember Kevin talking about it like an experiment of sorts, right? This is the first thing that they brought over from this company, and would American audiences take to it? And I think by the time they were auditioning us, they sort of knew that they had something. Obviously, they wanted to keep the show running.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was pressure on both sides. But we had the great fortune of learning the show from the original artifact. You know, like the people who created these roles for themselves, and that was a gift that felt like a curse in the beginning for us, I think.
I very much, because we only had 3 weeks for all 12 of us to learn this show. It was nice that we were learning it together,
weeks.
3 weeks. And that was 3 weeks of afternoons, really, because in the mornings we didn't have access to the set. So we were like pretending our hands were fish and stuff, remember?
I do.
Yes. But yeah, I remember, I think, I just speak for myself, I think I basically copied Henry Shields' performance until I felt like, okay, I can survive the show. Let me find out who the essence of Crispine is for me.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that because he was brilliant and just stole loads of his bits.
Yeah, that helps. It's interesting you call it a blessing and a curse. Did you feel, I imagine that the blessing is that you get to learn from these people. The curse is the pressure associated with their performances being kind of iconic at that point. Were you given that freedom to kind of, was that something that was spoken that you could create your own kind of entity with it?
Yeah.
Or were you in the pressure to emulate what they had done?
I think in theory they were all saying, yeah, you should make it your own. But then understandably, then they were like, oh, but rhythmically the line reading should be this. Because
We have
that's
years of experience with this joke in particular. We know this is how it works best.
Yeah.
And I was happy to learn that way too. I mean, I think I watched more than a lot of our castmates did. Like at a certain point, people stopped watching the show basically and just sort of tried to make them, absorb the information in a different way. But my way in was similar to Mark's. I just wanted to, just to get through it in the beginning, copy everything Dave Hearn was doing. So my Max is very much molded on Dave Hearn.
Yeah.
In that way. But I do remember them being really, I think that the general thought was, as soon as we start to get comfortable, we start to feel, we get through the show, we know the mechanics of the show, we know what works, what doesn't, we can sort of fill out the molds in our own way.
Yeah.
And that was the natural progression, I think.
I think it's so easy to see the show in its sort of format, and we all learned based on what we saw our predecessors doing. And then after maybe a week or two, we actually started listening to each other more, seeing each other more, paying attention to each other, and then becoming like a team ourselves, as opposed to a group of 8 individuals telling their own version of the story. We started telling our story, and that then elevated it for us, for sure.
I mean, that's one thing I love about the show is that people come and go and change all the time. And
and there's understudies on a lot. It's
together.
Like the opening night, it's opening night every performance, and the opening night cast are the people who are on stage with you that night. Yeah. And you have to pay attention to that and how different it is.
I have to give credit to Ned Noyes because he was one of our understudies in the replacement cast on Broadway, and I never got to see his Max because why would I?
It was so much better than yours.
But it was
really good.
transcendent.
I've heard,
but I've heard that it's completely different from mine,
Right.
and I think that what he did to sort of make the role his own stepping into a role that had been so clearly defined by Dave Hearn and then sort of emulated by me, to like have the wherewithal and the presence of mind to sort of know yourself and know what you bring to the table. And he really did the Ned Noyes version of the show,
Yeah.
Which is also testament to the writing, that like if you tell the truth with it, it works regardless of who is playing the roles.
Yeah.
It can hold a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of variety.
I also think it's worth mentioning that Max is a particularly tricky role as you're learning it, because so much of it is in relationship with the audience. So until you have an audience, it's really hard. And I remember someone at stage door one night saying like, "Oh, do you know who my favorite was? The funny one." And I was like, all of us, thanks. But like, he's the most likable, the most lovable. And with that comes this responsibility of like, until you've had an audience. Sam Douglas had the same thing. He was playing it off Broadway now brilliantly. It was like, you have to sit in that vulnerability of like, I just have to go out there and do it with an audience. And then once you do, those are like nonsense, and see, oh, they are responding. It's kind of baked into it.
Yeah.
Then the fun starts to happen. But like out of all the characters, Max is trickiest to play, I think.
And Act 1, Jonathan, as well. I remember when I was learning Jonathan, that's tricky because you spend so much time just standing there, and you're told by the directors, you'll just be able to feel it off the audience when is the time to exit, and you just can't know what that is until
you also have to be prepared to just fail.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I'm going to go out there, and if it bombs, there's plenty of other stuff that I do that I know will work. So you have to be courageous with that.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of trust. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. It's funny you mentioned the funny one. I was leaving the theatre with Brent, who plays Robert, and Sam, and I think Leanna was there, who plays Sandra. Sam is Max, and we were walking past some people who had seen the show, and we thinking, okay, they're stage dooring, they want signatures on their playbills, and they just singled out Sam.
That's what I mean.
And pulled him to one side. You were brilliant. You were so good.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely amazing.
They're like, can you take a picture of us? Do you mind?
Yeah. That was essentially it. The three others just walked away, and we went home, while Sam stayed behind. Did you talk about making a cohesive group as your company, and that being kind of like a formative moment of you as a replacement company? Did you find that some relationships formed more quickly than others, like Bean's relationship with Max, between the two of you perhaps, or Robert and Bean spend so much time together on stage in specific moments?
Yeah, I don't know with regards to characters. We shared a dressing room, Alex and I, which he was not happy about at first. He thought I was going to be ready to bleep, Alan, an asshole.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
There it is.
That's perfect timing if it goes wrong.
That actually is. Are you free?
Are you available?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I was like, oh, here's this pretentious British guy, and we're not. And then I found out we're sharing a room together, and I was like, oh my god, of course. Are you kidding me? And he's coming to my wedding in a few weeks. So, yeah, that worked out for us. I don't know that the characters necessarily made a difference though, because the nature of the rehearsal process, as led by Mark Bell and Maddie, was was designed to be very collaborative. It really felt like a clown class in a way,
Right.
Which was helpful in some ways, and we really didn't get to the meat of the script until about a weekend, probably.
Yeah,
or so.
we basically ran out of time in learning the show, and the last few days was pretty frantically making sure that we could survive it.
Do it.
But it was helpful. I just wish we would have had more time, because all of the stuff that we were doing, we did a lot of improv exercises. We did a lot of exploring what it means to be in that. I'm sure any performers, any actors who are listening have all felt that moment where you go to the White Room and you've forgotten your lines or whatever, and it's like time just seems to just slow down, and you're like, oh God. And we did a lot of work sort of embracing that. We call it the bead.
Yeah.
When that bead, the pit in the stomach, just hits. And so we would basically deliberately be put in uncomfortable situations. Remember, we had to do like interviews for jobs we didn't even know what the jobs were, and he'd be asking us to do exploring skill sets, and it was really funny. And I think we trauma bonded in that, and not in a dramatic way, but like in an essential way for us to all be like, we are a group of people who really are learning what it means to be in this style of a comedy.
And really just establishing trust with each other, which was essential for this play in particular. And then the trust with the audience for me came weeks after I started in the role. I mean, it took a long time for me to actually settle in and really feel what the role is and what the show is and how little you have to do in some moments, and really just trust that the audience is there with you. And all you have to do is sort of like bring them along.
Right.
You know?
That's interesting with Max in particular. Did you find that when you started like subbing in off Broadway that relationship shifted with the audience just because of the size of the house and that sort of thing?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's really the same relationship, but it's just a different scope. The room sounds different. The feedback is different. You can be a lot smaller because they're closer and there are fewer of them, so they can catch subtler movements, I guess. You know?
Yeah, the Lyceum is like for the show.
That's my strongest.
It's on his special skills and his
show.
resume. But yeah, the Lyceum was like 960 seats, I think, over 3 levels of balcony. So I used to go up there in the pre-show. I'm like, gosh, this is really steep. And it was kind of like, as far as trying to sell the idea that this troupe of amateur actors have come over to Broadway, and here they are in the like oldest continuously operating theater on Broadway, that feeling really grand. And we were like, this is, it's a lot to fill the space, but then New World Stages feels more appropriate for it. I think you can kind of believe that they've scraped the money together to get to that smaller house.
Yeah. I've done the show on tour as well as off Broadway, and I find the show
2,000-seater theaters.
Yeah.
With microphones.
With microphones.
What a concept.
You didn't have microphones at the Lyceum.
No.
Was that challenging? But
we had technique.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
They don't teach it anymore.
I'll teach you that. No, I think there was one, basically like a...
We had a couple floor mics, I think, right?
Floor mics, and one that was maybe like hanging, and there were backstage mics as well to pick up some stuff.
But we were screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember literally screaming for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Alex showed me some footage that we found somewhere, and I was like, talking like this the whole time.
Singing the whole show.
Like singing it from a health standpoint to just make sure that we weren't pushing. But I'm like, I sound like an alto. Just like belting it all.
And then I forgot you walked up to the balcony every night. I wonder how many steps you did. And did you do this on tour too? In these
always
big
go up
houses?
to the back. I love going up to the back. And then Trevor would give his speech, and I'd be like, "Do you know when he said? You probably can't hear that from the cheap seats. Let me fill you in."
I used to love it. This is a fun story. So on our opening night,
Which one?
Every night.
Very good.
Play That Goes Wrong was my Broadway debut, and it was like, it meant the world, and it was so cool to do like the Crispine opening speech, welcoming people to my play, and it was so meta.
Yeah.
And I was anxious about the pre-show because obviously there was no way for us to rehearse that during rehearsal. So, like for Chris, you just go out there and welcome people wearing this tuxedo. And there was a thing that we commonly did at the Lyceum where if there were any holes in like the front row, a few rows, I would be given a couple of pairs of tickets from box office from Heidi, the amazing house manager. And I'd go up to the balcony and pick a couple of people and just say, come with me, and like bring them down. And it was always such a treat for them.
Yeah.
On my opening night where I was feeling anxious, I went up to the balcony and I had no idea that one of my closest friends, Chris O'Neill, who I starred opposite in Book of Mormon, had bought a balcony ticket, come to watch my Broadway debut without telling me.
Yeah.
And I walked up there and I saw him, and it just made me feel so happy. I was like, good evening. And he was like, what the? I was like, is this your wife? And I think she was like 17, the girl sitting next to him. He was like, no. I was like, come with me, both of you. And I brought him all the way down to the orchestra level, and I could hear him laughing throughout. And it was like he was my emotional support animal, just getting me through it.
Yeah.
And
like,
this random 17-year-old girl, you like stripped of her family. She just
no, she was just there alone.
Wasn't with him.
I think. But yeah, that was so cool. I used to love doing that, just upgrading people.
Did you do that at New World?
We did for a long time, but there were often like seats in row K or something. So, and
people were like, no, I'll stay here.
Yeah. Well, I used to go up to people in row L and make a big deal about them being upgraded, and then just they move. I hand them tickets, walk off, and then they look at them. That's one row forward.
That's a good
bit. So dumb.
So
I'm like, what else am I doing with these? Yeah, I wish we still did that. It's challenging in a smaller house, I suppose. So, Mark, your relationship changed with the show when Broadway closed, and you moved off Broadway as an associate director.
Well, Matt DiCarlo became the production director, and that all happened pretty last minute. I think the transition to the decision to move it to New World Stages and the actual doing of it was pretty frantic and last minute. And so I said to Matty, let me know if I can help in any way. And the two of us got along. We all got along so well with Matty during, because he was the production stage manager for us. And he just said, yeah, actually, I need someone to assist. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And so I was kind of there as assistant director and fight coordinator on a 3-week contract, just to be there to help put it up during rehearsal. Because we also didn't know how we would work together in that capacity.
Yeah.
And that was, when was that? Back in
2019. Yeah.
7 years ago. And I just stayed on as the associate, and it's been an absolute blessing. It took me a while to trust my that I deserved to be in that position. It's quite a tricky thing, especially because I just finished playing the role. Bless Matt Harrington, who was Chris off Broadway. It was like he was so considerate and respectful, and I was clearly trying to be too, to just let him find his own Chris. But yeah, there's been a couple of times where the show has needed coverage, and I have made a conscious decision not to volunteer to go into it, because it's an important distinction to be able to be like, no, it took a while for me to feel like I have the respect in this position. And it's just a very different brain space that I occupy now. I'm about to go from here to do rehearsals, ironically, with the new Chris Bean that's coming in. And I basically just jump around like a fool, playing all of the other roles around him. And I'm very much sort of like an eighth of me is in each character now, as opposed to just predominantly knowing that role. And it was so cool to have the responsibility of learning what everybody else did in the show. And it just gave me so much more perspective and respect for what we were all doing on Broadway. Every role is so unique and challenging. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm so grateful for it. It keeps me busy too.
Yeah, which is always nice.
Yes.
We're gonna talk more about the transitions for both of you to the off-Broadway company, but we have to take a quick break. Before we do that, I have a mischievous question.
Oh, gosh.
I'm doing this with everyone. Everyone gets a mischievous question. It's kind of the same question to each of you. It's like 6 p.m. Performances at 7. You're not in the show that night, or at least you think you're not, until you get a text message from the stage manager. I mean, I know you said that you will not go in and perform, but...
I'll yes and this. Keep going, Chris.
Yes. We'll yes and. You know improv?
What a pro.
And you get a text message from the stage manager, we need you to fill in tonight, not Chris Bean, give me a call when you can, or not Max, give me a call when you can. Who are you hoping you're
Sandra,
filling in?
Yeah. Without any doubt. Anytime I get to play Sandra...
You had your answer before I finished the question.
I kind of knew where you were going. I'm like, give me that red dress now.
Yeah. That, by the way, is Matt DiCarlo's answer as well, coincidentally.
Sandra.
Yeah, I can
Hashtag
speak for him there. I know mine. It's very clear to me. Mm-hmm. And it's for one reason only.
Yes.
It's Jonathan.
For the truss swing.
For the truss swing.
It is
I've
very
always
fun.
wanted to do the truss swing, and they won't let me.
Who's
I don't
they?
play that role. The powers that be.
Can't see. He pointed at Mark.
Yes, this is a visual medium, right?
I mean, it could be.
No, they won't. I mean, the Jonathans go through. I mean, you can speak to this, which the people might be interested to know. Sort of the training that you have to go through to pull off the truss swing stunt at the end of the show.
Yeah,
this might be a spoiler. I don't know.
No.
Guess what? The show goes wrong if you weren't aware.
I think most people who are listening to this will probably be fairly
familiar.
I mean, at least once, and if not, go. But yeah, the Jonathans do trapeze training during the first week of rehearsal. I remember it was just me and you during my first week.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was just you and I and not...
Because I needed to do it too. I'd never done it.
I was in so much pain after that.
Yeah, it's challenging. Jonathan especially is a role that, like, Jonathan and Robert, but particularly Jonathan, the role off of the platform, there's a lot of core engagement that you have to do, and you very quickly develop the stamina for it and the strength, but it is a shock to the system.
Very slowly in my place.
No, it was quick. Probably felt slow for you.
Quick. It felt slow because I got injured in my first week. I tore my pec minor. and ended up missing a bunch of previews.
That'll
Came
set you
back for opening night though. Did set me back, but I got there eventually.
Wow.
It's a real workout, Jonathan. Your body changes a lot.
It's
when you
zero
play
to
that
100
role.
as well.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of he's on for the beginning, and then he's gone for a lot of the middle, and then he's back. But on the moments he's on, he's flailing about.
Yeah, he's on. It's a lot of physical stuff, and then you basically carry all of the exposition for the show in the last 10 minutes. So I remember Clyde Voce, who played it a couple of years ago, was saying that like he used to have to do a second vocal warm-up at the beginning of Act 2 because he'd been quiet the whole time.
Yeah, and so did I, but it's hard in New World stages because
there's
you just pack
so
in,
many
there's
shows.
nowhere to do it.
The Gazillion Bubble show is like, what is that noise?
Who is that yelling? We're going to take a quick break. We'll see you soon. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Alex Mandell and Mark Evans still. They didn't leave during the break, which is nice.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Was that on for me? Really good.
This is what we
Better,
did on the
actually.
break.
Yeah, this is what we were doing.
I'm going to stay a few minutes extra, actually. If you
Just
don't mind.
play around
Just
with
play.
the voice stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Do we have anything after this, Alan?
You're free, right?
You're
Okay.
free. Wonderful. So just before the break, we started talking about transitioning from your experiences on Broadway to off-Broadway. Alex, I mean, it took a while for you to be called in, right, to play Max. Were you expecting that at some point?
No, not at all. I knew that, I guess it was always a possibility, but no, I was never expecting it. I sort of felt like I had sort of ended my journey with the show and was happy about that and closed that chapter. And
I think it took a while for everybody to sort of accept that, oh, this is just an open-ended commercial hit
Right.
now.
Yeah.
When we joined the show on Broadway, I can only speak for me, but I think it was pretty universal. We were on 6-month contracts, but we were like, this is a risk. If we get 8 to 12 weeks out of this, that'll be great. And we just kept extending. They even announced that we were closing in August.
we were supposed to close.
And then they decided, because there was a Tracy Letts play going into the Lyceum, and then clearly something changed. And they were like, actually, we're going to extend again from that August to January. So there was a massive billboard of all of our faces, do you remember, in Times Square, that was like, the closing that goes wrong or something.
Yeah.
Leave it to Kevin to
Yeah,
spin it
so
into
smart.
a brilliant
I
I
marketing.
remember Kevin saying, like, one of the things with the marketing is that, like, we don't just use marketing that tells people that the show is funny. The marketing itself has to be funny,
Right.
Which is why all the posters are upside down, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
It's just so smart. But yeah, when it moved, we were all asked if we wanted to move off Broadway with it to be in it. And I think only Ashley Reyes, who was an understudy on Broadway, took over Sandra, and Adam Daveline, who was one of the understudies, moved to be an understudy temporarily off Broadway.
Yeah.
And so we had all made the decision, no, we are not going to continue with it. And we assumed that it would maybe run a few months off Broadway.
Yeah.
So then when it started extending, and like it's really great for us now that there's this whole Rolodex of people who know the show over the last almost 10 years, because we can invite them back when we need them. But yeah, it took a while for us to realize that, like, oh, there's probably going to be a time where everyone will be invited back.
Right.
Because Alex also did like an amazing sort of like, we call it like RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars version of the play that goes wrong that was in DC.
Yeah, DC.
It was like the Avengers, like people
Couple
who had
years
done
ago.
different productions, either the tour or Broadway, off-Broadway, and a couple new people at the Kennedy Center in DC for 3 weeks.
That was a really fun group. Yeah. And I had just broken my wrist right
that.
before that production.
Yeah.
And it was
Playing
really
Broadway
touch and go.
softball, right?
Yes, thank you, Broadway softball. Yeah.
We were not a good team, by the way. I don't think we won a single game.
We were terrible.
The team that goes wrong.
We were terrible. The only person who was worth their salt was Trevor's roommate, who wasn't even affiliated with the show at all. And he was just our ringer who we would bring in, and he was amazing. But I dove for a fly ball in left field, caught it,
Good.
broke the wrist, landed on my wrist, snapped it backwards, and the show was in DC was in 6 weeks. And I had done the show obviously at this point, but I'm from the DC area. This very much felt like doing the show on my home turf in a way, so I was super excited, and then super not excited.
Yeah.
when I
We
broke
were
my wrist.
gutted when we heard that, because we were like, oh my gosh, is Alex not going to be able to do this?
It was rough.
And then it felt risky as well, because until you start exploring the doing of the things, you can't really tell whether you can do it or not. And you were
Right.
confident. You were like, I'll be able to do it. I'll heal enough. And I think we only needed to make 2 minor adjustments. We moved a handle on one of the bits of furniture that you needed to move, but like you did a brilliant job at navigating that.
Yeah, I mean, it was, shout out to HSS. I had a great doctor. And I was like showing him clips of the show. And I was like, so I need to lift a grandfather clock with someone inside of it. And he's like, okay. And he was very game to sort of walk through everything. And the mechanics, we worked it out. I wore a little brace, but it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was not expecting that call.
Was DC first?
No. DC,
you'd already been off Broadway.
I had been off Broadway a couple of times.
I should remember these things, but I don't.
It's okay. It's all a blur.
So many people come in and out over the years.
It's just, yeah.
You've also done multiple versions of it and multiple characters as well.
You've done stints of three different roles, right?
Yeah, I was Jonathan to begin with. I've been Robert over the holidays twice. I've done about 200 Roberts, probably about 800 Jonathans, and about 1,000 Beans, probably.
And how long were you on the tour?
Tour was about 9 months, I'd say. Whole different experience, like we said, mic'd and in front of 2,000-3,000 people, different cities, different. The audience has shifted depending on where we were in the nation.
Your improv stuff, regionally specific.
I love doing the ledger section in front of different cities, so you can just bashing their sports teams.
How much did that shift? Was that
complete?
Stressful
I would go
exciting?
to the locals on the crew at each city and talk to them about what would really upset. Like when we're in Reno, Nevada, you can't say Nevada. Otherwise, that gets the audience going.
So you did.
So, of course, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Was that fun or stressful for you? I mean, I guess at that point...
It was a little stressful, especially when there was a really complicated thing that would upset or something that I didn't understand. There was something in Florida about hanging chads. I think it was West Palm Beach or something to do with the election with Al Gore, which I didn't fully understand. I just had to kind of trust that it would be funny for everybody.
They would understand that reference.
Yeah. So that was scary. I remember being in Memphis where they have the duck. They have a hotel where the ducks come down, and I was the duck master, ceremonial duck master as Chris Bean for a show. I remember yelling at them, have you ever led 5 ducks to a fountain? Yeah. Is that going to be funny? I have no idea.
Was it?
It was funny. They loved it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Great.
Also, kind of challenging, wrangling 5 ducks to a fountain.
I would imagine.
That's how it feels as the associate director.
Imagine. I really like how you got it back on topic.
Yes, there we go.
Speak to that.
What, being the associate director?
And wrangling, yeah. And it feeling like that. I mean, as you are currently bringing my replacement, David McElwee, into the show, and you're dealing with injuries of people and injury leaves and that sort of thing, or vacations, that's what I imagine is challenging.
Yeah, it's the continuous attempt to keep the show as consistent as possible for all involved, including the audiences. But when you're up against, ins and outs and just schedule conflicts, and it's just a constant. As an actor myself, it's been really, really helpful to sort of have the responsibility of managing a show, because what is required of us as actors is so deeply personal and it's so high stakes, and you have to you have to conjure it up from the depths of your soul sometimes to get through 8 shows a week. And so it is deeply personal and all-consuming. And then when you're on the other side, you very quickly see that, like, there's nothing personal in it at all. If someone is like, I'm really not sure if I can get through the show tonight, and they are stressed about it, there's like, great, so call out.
Yeah.
Give us the information we need, and we will find a way to make the show happen. Right. And it's literally just management and making sure that we manage things logistically. So it takes away the preciousness of it. Mm-hmm. And one of my responsibilities, I feel, is finding effective ways to communicate that with the actors so that they feel taken care of and that they trust that, like, they are essential to the operations of the show, but also that, like, it can operate without them too. So they shouldn't feel this weight of, like, the world that, like, oh my God, I have to carry this. Because I definitely felt that responsibility when I was in it. Yeah. That's the only thing that I feel like if I was to go back into the show now, I would be kinder to myself, I think, with regards to my responsibility. It's like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do my best job, and then I'm going to, like, happily leave it at the stage door and go home and live my life.
Yeah. I think these are the kind of things you learn on a long run. Mm-hmm. There's things that I've had to learn over the last 7 years. That I used to be that when I'm playing Chris Bean that if Brent is out playing Robert already and I wasn't feeling great, I'd feel a responsibility to push through because, if Robert and Bean are out, it's even more challenging for everybody. But as time's gone on, it's realizing that the show will continue. The people who can come in and play your role, they are confident, they are great, and they will do a wonderful job, and you don't have to worry about that or feel a responsibility for keeping the show going. And I think you've been great at that, and Maddie and our stage management teams have been great at communicating that people can take the time they need.
Well, it's a particularly challenging show, physically, vocally, emotionally, like to actually authentically exist in that place of panic and fear.
Yeah.
As if all of this stuff is happening for the first time. It requires a lot of you, and we all appreciate and respect that. And so fully just respect, okay, you need a night off, then take the night off.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we're short on coverage, we have to try and figure it out, and it's a collaboration in that regard. But there's no exact science to it, and it is continuously just a problem-solving situation. And I think that's exactly the same for all shows.
Yeah.
All commercial, continually sort of like long-running shows. It's just a Rubik's Cube that you're constantly sort of switching around and making sure that the show can go on.
Yeah. It's an interesting balance to find, to try to strike between keeping the show as consistent as possible for safety, really, and because it's such a long-running show and it's hopefully will continue to run, but also to keep it fresh every night. And of course, if you have different people playing different roles on any given night, that certainly helps with that.
Yeah.
But the something that Maddie really drilled into us as throughout our run on Broadway, and I know
Maddie
you both
DeCollo, he was PSM on
Broadway. Now the
Production
resident
director.
production director. This is opening night.
Yeah.
The stakes are high because this is opening night. Every night, and so it has to be fresh, and it has to at the same time be consistent, and we have to know where that person's foot is going to be at that moment so we don't trip. And it's an interesting
that's
balance.
what I found challenging going into it initially, and this is what I sort of offer to, this is what I've said to David, who's learning the role of Chris right now. Anyone coming into the show, I say, like, it's tricky because you have to, for safety's sake, be in anticipation mode. You have to be anticipating what's to come. So when certain scenery is about to fall, you have to know that you're standing in the right place. So then it's trickier to respond authentically to it. But then once you've settled into the show after a couple of weeks, you can just exist in the here and now and then be a little bit more surprised as things happen.
Yeah, maintaining that surprise as the show goes on.
I mean, you've done it phenomenally well, mate. For the last 7
you.
years, to see someone be able to deliver the caliber of performance you've been able to do and make it feel as if it is the first time, it's a skill set that not a lot of people have, and it is very different to being able to just, do things for the first time and then let it go.
I appreciate that.
I can speak to that
important.
too.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's important to me that happens. Part of doing that for me has been kind of pushing what I think you might find acceptable. Like, if I can be a little mischievous and go outside the lines.
I know.
But that's what it is, kind of pushing little things here and there, being pushed back. And even the pushback is like helpful for keeping things exciting and interesting sometimes. I was talking to Lara and Dora about this, doing the show for 7 years. There's times when I get a note and I'm like, 2 years ago I was told to do something different.
Yeah.
Why is that? And then over time I've realized that's because maybe it becomes a bit stale. Maybe the jigsaw of people around you is different, and
that's one of the trickier things as the associate director too, is because like anything that Matty, the production director, says goes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will say something and people don't understand that it's come from Matty via me, or I've had an idea, I run it by him. And so if it feels like it's in direct contradiction to a note that they were given 2 years ago, or even 2 weeks ago, it's like, oh, and they start to mistrust what I'm saying. And there's a little bit of either pushback or just a little glint in the eyes when they're like, you don't believe me, or you're frustrated at this.
Yeah.
And I had to make sure that I did not take that personally. One of the things that my therapist taught me about when I was sort of navigating that transition was like, it's not your job for everybody to like you. It's your job for everyone to respect you. And how you get respect is by being really good at your job.
Yeah.
And so like just making sure that I was always doing my best to deliver what was best for everybody and the show. And if people have differences of opinions around that, I can't control that. And that was really helpful. It was kind of liberating to just let me leave myself alone and do the job.
Yeah.
Well, you and Maddie have done an amazing job of holding space for the show to live and breathe. I mean, it really is. We talked earlier about how the structure is built in such a rigid way that works, that's proven, but that the show can hold a lot of different variations of character, and it's true. Every time there's a new person in a role, on any given night, the alchemy of what's happening in the storytelling changes, right?
Yeah.
And so you can really tell when people are listening and when the show is listening.
Yeah.
And that's really when it works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was born out of improv. And so
Yeah.
that's the seed of what makes improv
Yeah.
great. And so, I think it's as structured as the show is a breathing, living thing, and it's completely different than it was on Broadway 9 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's always informed by telling the truth of the moment. Like, to be sort of frank, when we're when we're holding auditions for the show, and we see that someone has, because there's been multiple non-replica regional productions of the show, and we see that it's on someone's resume that they played Max or they played Chris or Robert, more often than not, if not almost all the time, they are pushing it, and they are in a comedy. They clearly haven't been. They clearly haven't approached the storytelling in the same way that the original company and we then have inherited and sort of instill in everybody, which is, you're not in a comedy. Don't try and get the laughs. Max and Annie are slightly different, but you're in a murder mystery, a serious murder mystery play that is going wrong.
Yeah.
And part of rehearsal this week, actually, we did a brush-up rehearsal that I was leading, and we ran the first full 20 minutes of the show as the play that goes right. So I created this 2-page long list of what they should do in order to not do where the coat hook falls off. It's not going to fall off.
Yeah.
You're going to actually, the door is going to open, so you're just going to enter. And it actually, I wouldn't say it's a good play, but it is a high-stakes murder mystery.
It's actually a terrible play.
Yeah.
The Murder at Haversham Manor.
And very short.
It's very short. Susie H.K. Brightswell, the writer. But it was really, really effective for everyone to experience how slick and sort of high stakes and invested everybody could be. So then we immediately ran the goes wrong version of that 20-minute opening scene, and the pain of things going wrong was just so much more apparent and truthful and honest. And I watched the first act that night because we'd just been working on Act 1 on Monday, and it was, the audience wouldn't really be able to tell what was different if they'd have seen the day before and that show, and yet it was so elevated because what we're continually bringing, yes, we can rehearse rhythms and there's a musicality to it, and there's if you emphasize this word, they're going to hear it, and so there's a bit of science to the laughter, to the comedy, but mostly it is just really do trust that you can tell the truth.
Right.
It's really thrilling to sort of explore that,
I've
to not be
really
the one
enjoyed that.
responsible for doing it on stage and just to watch. And there was a couple of things I said to Sam Douglas. I was like, I misguided you on that. Actually, you need to do a bit, include 50% of the irony in there.
Right.
And I'm like, it's not an exact science. It's really cool to explore that.
It's interesting you talk about science there. If you both found this, I found that a lot of the comedy, maybe it comes from doing it over and over again, feels like math. It feels mathematical.
100%.
The timing feels structured like that. I'm thinking about my favorite moments, extending the arm with the phone to Robert feels like such a wonderful timing moment that I love to play with each night with the audience. What were those for you in doing the show?
I remember feeling on Broadway that what a gift that we are. I mean, we were really in a master class of comedy, and especially when we got comfortable and we could actually breathe and listen to each other on stage after the first few weeks of gritting our teeth. I just remember feeling sort of an out-of-body experience, a very self-aware. I could see the play happening from a bird's eye view, and I could also inhabit my body on stage. And I just the feeling of it feels like chemistry to me. It feels like if I pour a little of the blue vial in for this joke tonight, let's see what kind of, we got 20% more of a laugh on that. And of course, every night's different. Every audience is different. If the audience doesn't feel they have permission to laugh, then they're going to be quieter anyway, even though they may be enjoying it. So that, there are a ton of different factors at play. But I remember, in the nonsense section specifically, or even Max's first entrance, when he sort of, establishes this relationship with the audience, that he's breaking the fourth wall, he's able to interact with them, and that whatever they do directly impacts him, right? And so the nonsense is really his first big laugh and his first moment of recognition in that way. And it took me forever to figure out what that was. And I'm still off Broadway. It changes for me because, it's like pouring a little of this violin, this violin. And that was so exciting. That was such a treat. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting paid to learn. I was teaching. I have an acting studio here in the city, and I was teaching a class last night.
Mark Evans Acting Studio.
Mark Evans Studio. Thank you very much. Plug. And I was teaching a class last night, and said to something to one of the actors. I forget what it was, but she was like, that's really interesting how you can break it down that way. And I immediately thought, I learned that at the Play That Goes Wrong.
Yeah.
And I've been so fortunate. I think any time that you get to work and collaborate with people who are working at the top of their game, you just absorb so much. Like, I remember thinking that when I graduated college in London at age 20, that I knew everything.
Yeah.
And you really do just learn so much on the job. And the Play That Goes
And
Wrong.
that's why I was disappointed that he was my dressing roommate.
And then I taught him everything he now knows.
It's true.
Yeah,
But to answer your question, I think a little more clearly, the thing that one of the greatest gifts that the show gave to me as a performer is not necessarily that I was able, or we were able, to sort of dial in particular moments in terms of timing, but that it's the trust and the comfort in knowing that that moment is going to be different every night.
Yes.
And it will only work if you are in the moment and you're listening and you're feeling the audience and you're feeling your partner and feeling your partner. This podcast brought to you by
That's the
Feeling Your
social
Partner.
media, like, yay! Alex Mandell feels his partner.
Feeling your partner. But it's, you get what I'm saying. I'm going to stop talking now.
Yeah, and remove your hand from my leg, please.
Yes. Okay.
We've gone off
You're
the
trying
rails.
to figure out how
haven't
to
we?
wrap it up.
I'm trying to, how do we bring it from there to the close? I feel like we just do
Just
sound
stop.
effects for the last time. Yeah, we just end things.
Let me talk like that crazy guy.
Alex, Mark, thank you so much for joining today.
This was really fun.
It was really fun. The show's been so lucky to have you both with it for all of these years. Alex, you've been such a wonderful Max. We're so excited when someone gets hurt and you come in and play. We love seeing you on the schedule. We all
very
wish you were
sweet.
there the whole time, although
Thank
not
you.
anymore because I won't be there. So, we can hang out now actually and spend time together.
Yes. We've been meaning to check out that Brazilian steakhouse across
We
the
have
street.
been meaning to do that.
So
maybe we do that
yeah,
the day after I leave the show.
Lots of meat.
Lots of meat. And Mark, again, thank you. It's been wonderful being directed by you through the years. You were talking about the education this show brings, and it has been like a master's. And I've learned so much from you and from Matty and for all the people around me. Part of me leaving is feeling like I've completed my master's and I'm ready to try out my skills elsewhere. So thank you both for coming in, talking about your time with the show. Thank you, Mark, for all that time. Alex, all the times we shared on stage together.
It's been a pleasure.
And congrats on a really,
Thank
really
you.
successful run with the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
You're so wonderful on the show, and everyone should come see you before you
My
leave.
final in July, from July.
July. I don't know when this is
3rd
coming
12
out.
days in
through-
July.
It's probably in a week or two from us
Okay.
recording today.
Everyone go see
Yeah, I've got a
Chris
week and a
Lanceley
half in
before he
July.
leaves. He's
Yes.
fantastic in the show. He has been one of the backbones of the show that has carried it through and made it such a success off Broadway. It's been a pleasure doing the show with you. It's been a pleasure continuing this journey with you, Mark. And as your host of the podcast, I'd like to sign off now. Thank you for listening. Sorry, I'll let you do your job.
No, that was perfect. Do you want to say my name? Do you want to do it in a British accent?
Right. This is Chris Lanceley signing off. I made a promise to your mother and father, Michael Caine.
That's the best your British accent has ever been.
I mean, truly, if you've ever seen me in the show, you can attest.
I did.
Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
Thanks, Chris.